But if we think about like the Catholic Church, like as you go back to your original question about like the business model, I think that you figure like what was most powerful, and maybe what you do in your ministry and with the people that you touch, and what we're trying to do by this is that there was community and there was family, right? There was community and family. In the early church, people knew each other. They knew what it is that people needed. They felt a sense of connection, and they also had an implied sense of risk. They understood what they were involved with. And I think like right now, everything has become about like finances. It's become about money. It's become about the brick and mortar foundation of what's going to happen to our school, what's going to happen to our building. But there were no buildings in the beginning. It was just your basement. It was just your home.
Households.
Yeah, and that's what I'm seeing again. We see that in your ministry and other people's ministries, in people that have a devotion to our Lord. Remember, I think the three things that I see over and over again, because I try to study positive anomalies, is the movement to greater humility. So whether we screw it up, we don't do the right thing, or whether we have to go through our own process of conversion, wherever we start, atheist, agnostic, rebel without a cause, whatever, we have to figure out some level of humility. We have to encounter the truth. And then there's a movement of unity, right? Unification of the person, right? We have to be integrated because we need to be free. There's no freedom if there's no unity. There's hiding and disconnection.
And distrust.
Yeah, exactly. But for you to be able to engage people in your ministry or to help people or to be able to promote anything that is true, you have to be integrated or at least working to that, right? I mean, so you have the humility and then you have the unity of the family, the unity of the individual person, right? We're not going to pretend that you're not a person. You see, like we've cut away like the soul from the human being, right? Babies don't really have a soul. Old people don't have a soul. This person who might be handicapped or have a disability, they don't have a soul. Right. If I say I don't have a soul, I don't have one either, so you can kill me, right? We've dehumanized one another and in the sex trade, right? These women or men or children don't have a soul, right? That movie that has come out that people are promoting across the board on the underground, but now it's swelling up, that Sound of Freedom movie, because this is
have
reality.
You seen it yet?
I've not.
I've seen it.
It's on my agenda. Yeah,
I have, and as someone who has survived the abuse crisis myself, I have to say they did a fantastic job of it. What I really appreciated about that is they made sure that the voice, the platform was given to those who deserve it the most, which is those who are actually affected the most by it.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody that's involved in liberation are heroes. I mean, Tim Ballard he's an astonishing American hero. It's a fantastic story. But he and Jim Caviezel, who plays him, would be the first to say that it was those two young children in that movie, not to give any away plot details, sure, but that really portrayed the horrors of that are able to tell that story so that it ignites hearts. And even more importantly, those of us who have actually lived through that hell, we ought to be the ones that are able to tell the story so that we can become part of that solution and get the whole culture on board, because it really is an epidemic where so many people are implicated in some way, shape, or form. And for a lot of people, it's their apathy towards it or their inability to wrestle with it because they choose fear over knowledge and action, grounded in virtue, of course. And that's not going to work anymore, because it's going to come to a point where maybe it didn't affect you or your family directly in the past, but it will in the future if the evil spreads.
Oh, yeah. I think I think part of it is like Mother Teresa said, like we all belong to each other, and if we don't wake up to that, like it doesn't matter. Like soon we're going to see that it's in everybody's life, and if we don't see that, then we fail each other.